So you just had your Botox and you're wondering, what can I do for my sun protection immediately after my Botox appointment? I am Dr. Lynn Neiman, board certified anesthesiologist and aesthetic medical provider, founder of Blossom Medical in Northern Virginia, and I have some tips for you. Remember, I am a doctor, but I'm not your doctor. So if you have any really specific questions pertaining to you, an individual question, always feel free to reach out to your provider and they can get you the most perfect information for you. But in general, let's talk about tips and pearls of information for you today. One of the things that happens when any patient comes in for a Botox appointment is that they are told when they leave that your provider does not want you to move that Botox around. Remember, when we treat you with Botox, we are treating very specific muscles with very specific amounts of neurotoxin, Botox, Dysport, any of those things. And we want that medicine to stay exactly where we placed it. And that precision placement is what's going to give you the most beautiful results. Also, another consideration is that when we do place that with precision, we are using a needle. So we are making just a small puncture in the skin, and there's a little track down to where that medicine has been deposited. So now we have two issues for when you walk out of the office. Issue number one is that we have a little bit of a disruption in the surface of the skin. And we also are going to say, please don't rub your forehead. A lot of people get Botox in their upper face. And so this is not the time to put on your baseball hat or your wide brimmed hat or anything else that may potentially put pressure right where you had your Botox and move any of that medicine around. So you're going to leave the office and we're going to ask you not to use a baseball hat. We're going to ask you not to rub very hard to apply anything. And so when you leave the office, is it the best idea to go from here to the swimming pool with your kids or sitting outside doing whatever enjoyable activity you want to do? My answer is going to be no. The best thing to do really is to obviously avoid really hot environments to begin with. Sometimes that can actually cause you to not get the full efficacy of the neurotoxin treatment that we have, which is just a bad investment in your dollars because, as we know, neurotoxins are expensive to start with. And so we want them to be fully efficacious for you. Being exposed to really hot environments can do two things. It can actually denature the medicine, but it can raise your circulation, which will increase the likelihood of some of that medicine being washed out from the place that we want it to work. And so bottom line, you may not get as much efficacy, which again, not worth your dollars to do that. Number two, we really do want those little teeny tiny micro punctures on the skin to close up before you apply anything over top of it, just so none of that product kind of tracks down in that little hole that was produced by the really teeny tiny needle. Those typically take about an hour to close. And so when most people are leaving the office, I don't really recommend that we apply very much to their skin for at least about an hour afterwards. Every provider is a little bit different in what they're going to tell you, but typically I ask my patients to give me a couple of hours without any pressure on the places, any excessive rubbing on the places where we did a Botox treatment to begin with. So by the time someone leaves my office, I will let them know that evening they can wash their face, apply whatever serums they want to. But in the meantime, I would ask that they really kind of don't touch where we place their Botox. So let's just say for you, it's not an option to go from here home and kind of stay indoors for a while. You need to know what kind of sun protection you can use that would keep you safe. Let's say you had a meeting for business or something outside. This is what I would recommend. There are a number of different companies that make this kind of product, but we are big believers in ZO here, so I'm going to talk to you about this particular product. So this is a ZO powder sunscreen. Comes like this, perfect to keep in your purse with you. I actually keep one in my car with me, and then I know I always have it on the go when I need it. This is a powder sunscreen, and it is actually an SPF of 45, so it's hitting that sweet spot between 30 and 50 that we really like. This has the lightest touch to it. You can powder right over your areas where we did your Botox and keep that pressure really light. Low likelihood that you're going to move that Botox around to any sort of distant place. That's going to be something safe for you to use on your skin after your Botox appointment. This would actually be my preference for you to use on your skin after a Botox appointment. I think this is just one of It's just so smart. It's such a smart product because not only is it great after your Botox appointment, but I think it's also just great because it's easy to carry around in your purse. It's easy to have in your car. It's easy to store in places that sometimes you need sunscreen and you don't want to apply a cream over top of makeup or something else. This is your perfect answer. I just think this is so smart. If if you love ZO, you can get this, we can help you get this from us. You can click a link below. We can help you out with that. And you can go to our website and order it from there. But also there are a number of other companies who make something like this. I can't tell you what a lifesaver this particular product is. I would highly recommend it. But once you're kind of in a couple of hours later after your Botox appointment, I am always going to be someone who recommends that you're using sunscreen. So let's say you had your Botox appointment at 8 or 9 in the morning and you've got maybe you've got a son or daughter who has a sporting event, soccer, baseball, tennis match, something later in the afternoon, and you want to put something else on. I actually really love for you to be thinking about having a physical sunscreen on that day. So steering away maybe a little bit from a chemical sunscreen, but a physical sunscreen with that titanium dioxide and that zinc oxide that's really going to help to protect that skin. And again, applying about a nickel size amount to the surface of your face, just keeping that skin protected the day of your Botox appointment is really, really a beautiful thing to do. One of the products that I actually really, really love in terms of facial sunscreen is our Elastin. It's the Hydrotint Pro Mineral Sunscreen. This product is absolutely beautiful. It goes on with just the tiniest touch of color, so it blends into your skin really well, even though it has a really high percentage of zinc oxide. It doesn't leave a white cast or sheen to your face. It's just the most beautiful, just lightly colored glow. I can't recommend it enough, but this would be a lovely product to use a couple hours later if you need to protect your skin. Again, giving those little tiny micropunctures about an hour to close and really being careful. We're going to go to our powder sunscreen first if we need to be outside. Again, that's so we're not putting a lot of pressure on the skin, and then we can maybe move to something else where we're going to apply to the skin. But again, keeping in mind we're using gentle pressure. And as far as the next day goes, 100%, if you've paid money for Botox, please invest in an SPF that you like. There is absolutely nothing else on this planet that you can do that's a better insurance policy for your skin than finding a beautiful SPF that you love to use and that you are willing to use every single day. Every day we are exposed to blue light. We are exposed to light coming in from windows. We are exposed to our driver's side, that light that's coming in through our car windows. We are exposed to light walking around from our cars into buildings, all those things. So even if you're not on vacation at the beach, at the golf course, at the pool, outside at an event, even if you're not there, you are exposed to that UV light every single day. So just be smart. Make it a habit. That way you're never going to be caught without that sunscreen protecting you. I hope that this was really helpful for you today and will help you out after your next Botox appointment. If you are just interested in talking Botox or talking sunscreens or just really, really want to, you've been on the hunt, you need a good sunscreen, you haven't found one that you love, we would love to be the people who help you find it because again, I think there's absolutely nothing else that you can spend your money on that you will be more satisfied with the results in 10 years than finding a sunscreen you love to use every day. Absolutely reach out to us. You can find a link to schedule a consultation if you happen to be in the Northern Virginia area. But if you're not, we can still do a virtual consultation with you and really talk you through the process and really get you some good options so that you can find a sunscreen that you absolutely love. And you can find a link to do those virtual consultations for skincare down below as well. Again, I'm Dr. Neiman. I'm so happy and really, really honored that you stuck with me through this video and hopefully you learned something. And I hope that you really just are smart every day with your sunscreen and with your sun smarts. And also, this helps you really get the best and most efficacy and most beautiful results out of your Botox the next time that you have it, especially as we approach the summer months. Thanks so much for your attention today, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.